Okay, so welcome to my review of Voltes 5 Legacy, the cinematic experience. Pero bago tayo mag-umpisa, story time! Now, kapag may bagong movie na lalabas, I have my go-to cinema and I have my go-to seat. And for this movie, it was no different. Binili ko yung seat, pagpasok ko, may nakaupo dun sa seat ko. And in fairness dun sa guy, when he saw me approaching, he knew that I was about to inform him that, like Sheldon in Big Bang, that's my spot. So sabi niya dun sa katabi niya na magiging katabi ko na, oh, okay, punta na ako dun sa upuan ko. So he moved. So I sat at my seat and my seat was perfectly centered too. Merong 3 seats to my left and 3 seats to my right. So nagumpisa yung movie. It was normal until Little John, one of the characters in the movie, popped on screen. When that happened, the 3 people to my left looked past me to talk to the people to my right, and they were like, "Yee?" And that kept happening and happening every time Little John was on screen. Until ginawa nila ulit yun, but this time, sabi nila, ang cute-cute naman ni Rafael. And I was like, dude, the kid that plays Little John is beside me? So I was in the same screening and the same row as one of the characters in the movie, and pinaalis ko yata sa upuan yung tatay niya. I just ruined movie night for Rafael Landicho and his family by booking my ticket. So, yeah, that happened. Okay, on with the review. Now, the series Voltes 5 Legacy will premiere on GMA on May 8th. The series is a Philippine live-action adaptation of the Japanese animated series Voltes 5. And I'm pretty sure you've seen at least one of the trailers, so kilala mo na yung Kapuso stars na nandito. So first, it's a good thing na may approval to from Toei Animation, the original minds behind Voltes 5, the series that this series is adapted from. And from what I've read online, pinuri pa nila yung series, so yeah. So Voltes 5 Legacy, the cinematic experience, is a 2-hour movie edit of a part of the show that will premiere on GMA in a couple of weeks. And this isn't the first time na mayroong series na inedit down into a movie. Remember the movie Son of God? Yung mga scenes na napanood mo sa movie na yon, those were taken from episodes 6 to 10 of the miniseries called The Bible. So for the movie Son of God, they had to cut 1 hour and 55 minutes worth of footage. And they did, and the movie was good on its own. Tsaka kahit marami ka namang putulin na scenes or moments dun sa Son of God, alam mo naman yung kwento nun eh. I think there's a book about that somewhere. I don't know. In this movie, Voltes 5 Legacy, the cinematic experience, that's a long title. In this movie, and I did look this up bago ako manood, the material na ginamit nila for this movie are taken from the first 3 weeks of the TV series. The first 3 weeks. Unang 3 linggo. Now, hindi ko alam kung gaano kahaba per episode yung series, be it 25 minutes per episode or 50 minutes per episode, but regardless, that's 3 weeks worth of material condensed into a movie that's 1 hour and 45 minutes long. Kahit ito lang information na alam mo, without having seen the movie, there are so many scenes that had to be left on the cutting room floor. Kaya sabi ko sa sarili ko bago mag-umpisa yung movie, oh, I think this is going to be an issue for me. The pacing. And yes, yung editing and pacing nga, yun yung unang naging issue ko dun sa movie. Now, alam ko namang intended lang tong movie na to as a preview for what's to come sa May 8 pag inere na yung palabas sa GMA, and this was meant to be a showcase of the special effects. But this is still promoted as a movie, and this is still a movie review. But I will try to render my critique of the movie with these in mind. Now, let's go back to my slight issue with the pacing. During the first 2 minutes of the movie, ni-speedrun lang nila yung entire arc that happened on Bozan, tapos may narration lang ni Dennis Trillo, and I was taken aback by this actually. But that's an issue that I had with the movie and not necessarily with the series, because it hasn't come out yet. Now let's talk about special effects next, kasi this is what the producers of the show have been putting at center stage. And I think we still have miles to go in terms of special effects. However, this is a big leap. Keep in mind that the series and the show were produced on a Philippine budget. I think it was a very big budget, but it was not Game of Thrones budget, if you know what I mean. So keep your expectations in check lang siguro. Yung scenes na all CGI for the most part maangas, and lalo na nung nag-vault in sila for the first time. When that happened, lahat ng nanonood pumalakpak. Maski ako. And nung tumugtog na yung iconic na Voltes 5 theme, this time sung by Julian San Jose, chills, man. Chills. Like, I don't remember applauding like that during a Filipino movie. like ever. Now, I did say for the most part kasi there are, spaceships here and there na medyo kulang sa motion blur and medyo cartoony pa yung dating. Pero again, this is progress in terms of special effects and I applaud the producers for it. Na-enjoy ko especially yung mga kaiju battles kasi mukhang doon napunta yung majority ng budget. Like kitang-kita mo yung attention to detail in terms of design ng mga beast fighters kasi kita mo yung scratches and yung scuff marks and all. Now, this is where the cinema format can work to the advantage and disadvantage of the movie kasi there's no room to hide the flaws kasi the screen is so big. When the effects were good, namangha ako, but when the effects needed some polishing, I was like, nah, I hope that was better. Ganun. Yung set design din maganda for the most part. The one that stood out to me was the Big Falcon kasi a big percentage of the movie happened there. Yung costumes din maganda. For the most part, they look good and there are actually videos that I saw online comparing the costumes in this show to the characters in the original Japanese series. And I would say they were very honest naman dun sa original counterpart. So, yeah, very good. Yung mga wigs though, yung mga hairstyling, medyo ganun pa. Same goes for Maria Clara and Ibarra, which I'm trying to get into right now kasi nasa Netflix siya. Yung hairstyling doon ni Padre Damaso and some other characters medyo wala pa doon. In Voltes 5 Legacy, the cinematic experience, yung buhok ni Dennis Trillo, ni Christian Vasquez, tsaka ni Martin Del Rosario, doon ako okay, wala pa tayo doon. Now, sabi ko kanina, yung special effects, yung set design, yung costumes, and yung hairstyling, they were very good for the most part. Pero pag nag-meet na yung mga elements na to, dun na yung may malaki pang room for improvement. Those were very good. Pero pag naghalo na, kunwari may taong totoo, tapos may background na CGI, dun na may cracks. Yung rotoscoping, yung motion tracking ng ibang explosions, tapos yung chroma key minsan, yung pag-alis nung blue and green screens, medyo hindi pa seamless in those departments. Yung shadows din and lighting, medyo shaky pa. There's a shot of Carla Abellana in a jet fighter na yung source of light is parang nasa harap, tapos yung lighting ni Carla is from the side, and I was like, okay, there's work to be done there. And sa hair nga, going back to hair, wala pa tayo dun sa very clean na chroma key. Kaya there are scenes na kailangan palitan yung background ng characters and mukhang pinalitan nila yung virtual background nila during a Zoom meeting. Medyo ganun na yung dating. But then again, budget. So I let it slide kung may white lining around a background character. Pero there are scenes lang na very crucial dun sa kwento and the backgrounds of the characters had to be removed and hindi maayos yung compositing, and I was like, okay, sana ni-reallocate yung budget for those scenes. Yung acting was good. There are so many skilled actors dun sa movie. Si Albert Martinez, si Carla Abellana, who else? Si Gabby Eigenman, si Epi Quizon, si Christian Vasquez. Although sometimes it's not just with Albert Martinez and Gabby Eigenman, it's very common among the adult cast of the movie. Pag very wordy yung scenes like, "This is Dr. Robinson communicating with headquarters requesting for dispatch, over!" Or yung scenes na, "Engage all defenses, Voltes 5, we need to go back to base right now!" Wow. I feel like sometimes hindi nila alam yung ibig sabihin nung sinasabi nila. To compare siguro, you could see this issue sa performance ni Michael Douglas sa Ant-Man movies. His character is supposed to be an expert in quantum physics, pero there are scenes na yung intonation, yung delivery ni Michael Douglas mukhang binabasa niya sa cue card. Pero I guess I could cut them some slack kasi baka hindi nila natutukan yung original na Japanese na show, or baka dahil na rin sa age, hindi naman nila alam yung mga jargons nung palabas. Pero mas in tune syempre sa mga techie terms, sa mga sci-fi terms yung mga bata, and this is where I applaud yung limang bida. For the most part, si Miguel, si Matt, si Radson, si Isabel, tsaka yung katabi ko, si Rafael, they were putting on a show. I wanted more, I guess, from the two members of the Voltes 5 na hindi Armstrong, kasi yung Armstrongs nga naman yung focus nitong movie na to. Pero I'm sure I will get that from the show. And this movie anyway, may dynamic yung team, so that's very good. Pero speaking of the Armstrongs, merong scene doon na sinurprise nila yung nanay nila, and I thought that was very sweet and very well acted. Tapos merong scene doon sa dulo ng movie na it was a very emotional scene, and yung tatlong Armstrongs, they came to act. Medyo natawa lang ako in a moment where I shouldn't be laughing. Yung yung laway nung nung Robinsons nag-stretch, nung umiyak sila. Yeah, natawa lang ako. Pero yeah, it was a very heavy scene and they came to work. And again, mas maganda yung delivery nila ng mga jargons kasi mas malawak nga naman yung imagination nila in terms of sci-fi and fantasy. I'm sure nagagaling pa sila in terms of acting in the future. Pero I did see their potential here in this movie. I'm not sure kung kaya kong subaybayan yung series, pero if Voltes 5 Legacy, if this movie was meant to show me where the Philippines is at in terms of acting, storytelling, CGI, sound effects, costumes, and makeup and hairstyling, I'm very happy. Dagdagan ko raw yung outro ko sabi ni Dexter. So here we go. And that has been my review of Voltes 5 Legacy, the cinematic experience. Did you agree or disagree with anything I said? Let me know in the comments below. And do the YouTube thing. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay notified of any videos about movies, games, or anything fun. Ciao.